What's up, Pickleheads? Back with another week of podding. That's what the cool people call it these days. Today we wanted to read some of our funny comments. We definitely have some hate on Instagram and just like everybody else on other social media and on the podcast. We wanted to go through some of those because we thought some of them were pretty funny. Some people have advised us not to talk about those comments because then they keep coming, but if it makes us laugh, we might as well. We don't really take it to heart, so we might as well. Also, before we do that, I wanted to talk about something important because this week there were a few people that I played with that were beginners that don't quite understand why they're doing what they're doing. For example, the dink. I think a lot of people, or at least some people, might think, okay, in pickleball we dink, so I'm gonna dink. And so they start dinking, and then they get a high ball that they could attack, and instead they decide to dink that ball again. Not understanding that the reason that we dink in the first place is to get that high ball, to cause a pop-up so that we can put it away. I think we sometimes get so lost in, okay, pickleball is played differently, so we're going to just play pickleball, when we can use things from tennis or other racket sports or from other sports in general, and we could actually bring them into pickleball, and our pickleball game can be better. So again, as far as the dink goes, the reason that we do it is so that we don't pop the ball up for the opponents to smash on us, but also so that they do pop the ball up and we can put that ball away, not to dink it again just because you were told to dink.
Yeah. Something interesting is when I was playing with DJ Young, this was a year ago now, is I would dink to him, and it feels like you have like a foot of margin of error over the net, where your dinks have to land or you have to hit behind him in specific, and I'm sure it's the same with all other pros. I know it's the same with Tyson too, actually, now that I think about it, because I've played against Tyson too, where you have a foot over the net that you have to hit to for your dink. Otherwise, they reach in and literally just place the ball anywhere they want, make it extremely difficult. It's usually a winner. If not, it's a body bag. If not that, you get really lucky and you hit the shot in. Yeah. But you don't notice this, and we just barely had the Las Vegas Open, whatever it was. What was it? PGA Las Vegas?
Thorlo. Yeah.
Thorlo. Dude, at this tournament, their rewards were handing out Thorlo hats. I'm like, I'm sorry, that's the last thing I want. At least give me the Thorlo socks.
No offense to Thorlo, but
I would love some socks. Yeah. I don't want a hat though. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, so they reach in and make it extremely difficult. So the reason that they're dinking is looking to set it up. But you don't realize, watching these pros in real life, how aggressive and how good each and every single one of their dinks are in making their opponents feel uncomfortable. They hit that 1 foot margin of error over the net every single time, or they hit it behind their opponent every single time. And on some rare chance that they do pop it up, the opponent is 100% ready to take that ball out of the air. So they're just looking to set themselves up, and that's what dinking is all about, setting yourself up, keeping your dinks low enough that you're not gonna get the ball smashed at you. But I've played so many rec games since with 5-0 players, 5-0 plus players, and I'll hit the ball deep and high, and they don't take it out of the air. They let the ball bounce and they dink it again. Even these higher level players. But that just shows you kind of the gap. So the reason that we do dink is so that we can set that up. So you should constantly be reaching in and looking to take balls out of the air and attacking the right balls. So what would you say is the right ball to attack, Spencer?
Well, I think we can go back to the basics of red zone, which is low, below the waist. We don't want to attack that at all unless maybe we do it once a game just to throw our opponent off. You know, maybe up towards the shoulder or head area, they think maybe it's going out. But if we hit it too hard, it is going out. And then we have our yellow area, at least this is the way that I learned it.
Yeah, I like that.
Which is, you know, above the waist, but approximately net height, where it's like you can attack it if you feel comfortable attacking that, and that's why you should drill it. And then anything higher than net height, you have the green area or the green light, and green means go. You can attack that ball. But again, I hate to be repetitive, but I just see this with people. I'm not going to say specifically who, but I was trying to help my wife. She was preparing for a tournament, and we ended up mixing in with some other players, and one of the players that I played with this was only like their, I don't know, maybe they've been playing for 6 months or so. You could tell she didn't have a lot of experience, but obviously she was told to dink. But anytime she got a high ball or anytime there was an opportunity to attack, she didn't do it. I'm just going to dink and get the ball back over, because she thinks in pickleball we dink. But let's understand the reasons why we do certain things, and that's part of the reason that we do this podcast, is to help people understand, there's a purpose behind, same thing with the drop. There's a purpose behind doing the drop. We're not just doing it because, that's what pickleball players do. We're doing it to set ourselves up and to make sure that we don't set up the opponent. So same thing with every shot in pickleball. But if you have a green light, go for it.
She probably learned that from Tyler Loon. And it's something that I know he's working on, I would assume, because he just started drilling now. He's never drilled before, supposedly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But he's been drilling now to get better, and he's been practicing shots. And I'm like, it has to be. His number one shot that he's practicing is speeding up shots that are in the green zone. Because he'll get a high ball and then he'll dink it.
Yeah, he's one of the most consistent out there, for sure.
But it's not helping him.
Yeah.
Because when you get that green ball, you need to be able to speed that up. So I'm sure that's something that he's working on.
And I just watched that in person. So Tyler and whoever his mixed partner was.
You saw him this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Standing right next to him, because I was actually watching Travis Rettenmeyer and Jade Kawamoto play him. I wanted to see if there was any beef there, because I know that there is, but nothing really ended up happening that way. But Travis and Jade absolutely destroyed that team.
Really?
Absolutely destroyed
Who was his partner?
And I can't think of who Tyler's was. It's a fairly unknown. But Travis and Jade played together and were just lights out. Jade is consistent. Travis was putting balls away, but same thing. I don't think Tyler ever missed any easy shots. I don't think he missed any dinks or anything like that, but he wasn't taking opportunities to be offensive. He wasn't taking any type of opportunity to really, for the most part, attack. I know he has the Ernie, he has that, but anyone who's played him before just knows not to go there where he's going to Ernie you. And anyway, Travis and Jade, destroyed him. I have just a ton of the footage where it was just almost embarrassing watching it. I'd be destroyed by him too, but even pros, that's why you bring up a really good point. I shouldn't say even pros, but I think a lot of the pros don't attack enough. Super consistent, but then they're not advancing to that next level, and that's where the game's going. You got to be able to attack. Otherwise, you're just going to get pushed out, don't you think?
Yeah. Travis is so good at mixed. He's just a mixed.
Oh, yeah.
He's got
the game.
Yeah, the mixed game, I guess you could say. I was trying to think of a fancy word, Sound professional. But yeah, he as a mixed player makes a ton of sense. One more thing on the dink is watching Ben Johns this weekend. And if you're on YouTube, which a lot of people don't listen on YouTube, we get thousands of views on, because it's a podcast, so we get thousands of views on podcasts, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But hop onto YouTube really quick if you can. Something that Ben would do is he would reach into the kitchen to try to get the ball out of the air to speed the ball up. Every single time that someone dinked cross court to him, he would reach in, he'd invert his wrist like this, and then he would try to take that ball out of the air and attack it. If he couldn't, he'd instantly cock his wrist back and dink the ball either out of the air or after it bounced. And then his decision-making process came down to exactly what Spencer talked about: red, green, and yellow. So green at the top, anything that's above, what would you say, anything above belly button?
Yeah, I think somewhere between belly button and chest right here is,
The green zone? And I guess it goes all the way
up here.
Yeah.
But I'm saying where it starts somewhere around here, yeah.
And for him, it's probably a little bit lower because he's so fine-tuned, but he's going to speed it up. And then he would make the decision, okay, that's more so yellow. And obviously he's not thinking to himself, that's more so yellow, but that's what we should be thinking as we're practicing to where it becomes muscle memory after that. If it was more so yellow, he would not take that chance maybe once per match in 3 sets or 2 sets is what it usually is with Ben because he wins in 2. But maybe once he would speed up a more dumb ball and he'd usually win the point too because it was such a big surprise. But I wouldn't suggest doing that as an amateur player as much. And then he would either take it out of the air or off the bounce with that dink. But it just came down to he was always inverting that wrist ready to attack and then he'd come off it if it was too low every single time.
Yeah, AJ Kohler does that same thing, and I think he learned it from Ben. Honestly, he spent a lot of time practicing and drilling and watching his game. Even this past weekend, I watch him. He's ready for the attack if it's an attackable ball. If it's not, you can blatantly see him come back and just scoop the ball and dink it, and then wait for another one. He's out there ready to attack, come back and scoop the ball on either side. Maybe he takes a step back, dinks it. So that's a perfect example.
He's wicked fast, dude.
Yeah.
AJ.
And you would think that your mind can't make that decision fast enough, and mine can't yet, but obviously doing it over and over and over, like you said, with drilling and with playing, after a while it starts to work.
That was one of the hardest things for me starting, was figuring out when to attack and when not to. So memorize red, green, yellow, and then based off of that, make your decisions on when to attack. And obviously it's not going to be your very first time that you get it right, but it's going to be better every time that you focus on it, because what you're doing is applying pressure on your opponent. When they see you reaching in, about to attack, they take a step back, and then you end up dinking it. You're playing the mental game on them. It makes it very difficult for them to be able to be ready for the shot or expect the shot that's coming. And they're constantly feeling the pressure of, these guys can speed it up at any time. We don't know when it's coming. But make sure that as an amateur player, you're only doing it in the green zone 99% of the time. You'll have a lot of success. But yeah, you have to learn it.
Yeah.
Kind of an interesting thing.
You could learn it like primary colors. Primary colors are 1, 2, 3.
Red, yellow, and green. Not blue. I was thinking, wait, those aren't primary colors.
You just gotta ditch blue and go for green, and then you know what balls to attack and what not to attack.
Hey, it could be blue zone. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, make it blue zone is attackable.
If that's easier for you. If you've been to primary.
But just remember why you're doing these things. Don't just do them because you're told to do them or because you think that's the pickleball way. If you want to advance in levels, you need to really work on the why behind it so that you know when to do it.
And also one more quick thing, doesn't mean you take every ball out of the air that you can possibly take out of the air. It means that you take the ball out of the air to apply more pressure. So you're not just mindlessly taking balls that are super low at your feet and trying to get them out of the air. That's going to be extremely inconsistent. You're trying to get balls out of the air if you're early and prepped enough and you're up at the kitchen and you're leaning in and they're in that yellow zone. Those are the ones that you're taking out of the air, not the ones that are below your knees in the red zone. You're not taking those out of the air.
Yeah.
So don't think that that's what we're saying. But just go watch any pro match and you'll see, based off of the height on their body, where they're hitting these balls out of the air. And it just applies way more pressure. And if you ever have an opportunity to play against them or just a higher ranked player, which you will, you'll see that it just puts on so much pressure when they take these balls out of the air.
Great point. And that explanation that you were making with the paddle, what paddle was that?
This is the Sexy Boy. This comes out on the 10th, so I'm just showing it because it's not like Selkirk watches my podcast anyway, so I'll risk it.
What a nice tease.
But this thing is the sexiest paddle I've ever seen, that's for sure. Me and Spencer both switched paddles this weekend and tried each other's. And Yeah, I really, really like it. I don't know how thick it is, but it looks to me like it's 20.
Yeah, it's
No.
definitely thicker than 16.
20 mil. So, but yeah, comes in tons of different colors. I just saw another color scheme
Oh,
that
really?
looks sick, red. But it's not like a Selkirk dark red. It's like a light red. Looks so sick. So I'm excited to try out those colors. Hopefully they send me some others. Comes in blue, as you know, Jack Sock. If you look on his Instagram page, you can see the blue one. I know there's a yellow one because I saw Jack using a yellow one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So
get
there's
the
quite a
yellow,
few.
but I would imagine there's a couple others too that they just haven't shown me. Maybe they'll go every color.
Yellow might be illegal in MLP,
Yeah,
so you gotta watch out.
it should be illegal in everything.
Yeah, I know. Just makes it hard to see the ball.
I don't think gold's that bad, but
Someone will complain about it.
yeah.
I'm sure.
So
You can always
noob.
find somebody. Yeah.
Hey, that was interesting though. Just backtracking to MLP really quick. Did you notice everybody? What I said to Hattie, I was like, Hattie's my wife, and what I said to her was, it's really interesting that the team that won, nobody picked to win, but they're wearing these orange shirts.
Yeah.
And Hattie was like, "Oh yeah, right. Like that doesn't matter." And I was like, "It would matter to me, honestly.
yeah.
I think that would be tough."
Especially the orange that it was.
Yeah,
It was
right.
like a faded, like almost yellow orange.
Yeah, it was more so yellow.
Not to take away from their play or anything like that.
Oh,
but
they
that
were
would bug me
unbelievable.
like crazy too, because anytime that ball crosses right here, it's really hard to track the ball, especially if you're in a hands battle.
And then that's all I heard about in podcasts. Yellow, they're orange yellow shirts.
Yeah.
That's all I heard about. So I was like, Hattie, listen to this. Like they're actually saying it. Because I was just assuming, like, what isn't that
Yeah.
illegal? Anyways, I don't know what we were talking about before, but
They might not
We
let
may
me do it
try.
next time. Oh, let's
I
go
would doubt
over.
it.
Let's go over a few things on social media. Some of these are funny. It's funny to get hate. There's also funny comments. Like I posted, I'll start it off here. I posted one on Picklehead giving an Ernie tip, and somebody my humor is way different than others. Like I know that me and my wife have different humor. You know.
yeah.
She calls my humor dumb humor. But anyway, so I posted something about the Ernie on here, and someone responded and said Ernie Sanders, and it just made me laugh most of the night.
It's not even hate. It's
It's just funny. Just Ernie Sanders. Random comments get me. If anyone wants to make a random comment and just
with
make
that.
me laugh when I read them, I love it.
That is
So,
funny.
Anyway,
Ernie Sanders.
what do you got? I know you got a lot on yours.
Oh, I mean, 90% of the comments on Pickleball Playbook are hate. Me and my wife posted, well, Spencer's in it too, but we posted, it's called The Peekaboo. And me and my friend Brett Lee came up with it. And he just, I mean, he came up with it while he was with me. And the way that it works is he just said, Austin, run to the net while I serve. So obviously I'm not going to hit a third out of the air, but I just ran to the net. They hit the return to me because I ran to the net and I dodged it. And then it came back to Brett and he hit a drive. And then I moved out of the way of his drive and I was pretty much a screen for him. And we just said, peekaboo, right? And it's just a roaring winner past the players because they couldn't even see the ball. So it's just like a fun play, right? It's not like a serious play, but it can get you points against high-level players. Anyways.
And it's very annoying if it happens to you.
Yeah.
So the video that he posted, it happened to me, and it's tough to play against and very annoying.
It was funny. But yeah, just like right here, the very top comment, 37 likes. Yeah, that wouldn't work on good players. Oh well. And it's like, yeah, it would. But anyways, they don't understand that it's all just fun and games, right? What did this guy say? I have to find this. It's so funny. I took a screenshot on my own phone, but I'm using it as a horrible and clearly staged, not an actual point.
It was okay. I'm proof that it was not staged. I don't know. You should have videoed my reaction after the fact. I was just kind of pissed that you won the point doing that.
And it was against our dad, who doesn't play a lot of pickleball. And obviously, our dad's a lot older than we are, too. the other one.
Yeah.
There's 2 points there, but it's just a fun thing to do, and yeah, these people just hated on it.
That reminds me of one that we did. It was me and you playing with our dad, who's a little older, and our other brother, Clay. And I was kind of frustrated because Clay and I were losing against my dad and Austin. And so I decided to attack my dad out of nowhere, and he was not ready for it at all. And just hit him in the chest. And yeah, I got some serious hate for that one, for hitting the old guy in the chest. But it felt good at the time.
It's not as bad as drop shotting an old man or an old woman.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm playing, against some older people, and you're just doing what you normally do, and you drop shot, and you're like, oh, my bad. Okay, this guy said on this one, imagine using Friday night to film this.
Savage. It's actually funny though. I kind of like that guy. He's probably sitting there in his underwear making the comment, but it's like, dude, what are you doing on your Friday night?
Commenting on videos, dude. He's using his Friday night to comment on pickleball videos.
He's funny though. I'll give it to him.
Best comment I've ever received is my post about...
Well, and we should grade these. What do you grade that last one that you...
That last one out of 10, I would give a 9.
Yeah. This is funny.
When I read it for the first time, I actually died laughing. I did a video, and it's me, it's really recent, but it's me doing an Ernie, and I step into the kitchen, and then I reestablish outside of the kitchen.
Which is legal.
Which is legal, okay? Guy comments, illegal. You should never be allowed to wear that shoe short combo. When I read that for the first time, that was funny.
I didn't even see that one.
I put best comment as a reply, and I pinned him at the top. He's the only pinned comment because that was the best. That's a 10 out of 10.
So we're encouraging hate, mostly because it's funny.
But then it's like other people after he did that tried to hop on the bandwagon and just said like random stuff about my outfit. I just deleted those comments. I'm like, no, you can't be as funny as this guy.
No.
Sorry. They tried, but...
No, yeah. There's another one of you, when it's us four playing, like we're family, we're having a good time. And then do you remember you put your arms up and you dance after winning the point?
Yeah.
I gotta look up what that guy, and that might have been on TikTok where it was at, but I'm trying to find what that guy said about it. And again, I usually see these comments at night when I'm like editing or whatever.
That was a savage one.
At night, you're like extra giggly,
Yeah.
And it just makes you laugh. So we definitely appreciate the laughs. Oh, where is it? I think it's this one.
Forever ago.
Hurts to get burned. Oh, here it is. It is on Instagram. So Austin dances after winning the point, which we're all family, we get it. He said, D-bag shaking his hips will have no one who wants to play with him. Karma gonna get you.
He's just a savage.
So
He's not wrong, though.
I left that one on there. Austin is a D-bag.
I really am, dude. Against family, I don't give a frig.
What else do you got on us?
I have so many. So the problem is I screenshotted them onto my phone, but I'm using my phone to record.
Oh.
But if you guys just get on Picklehead and Pickleball Playbook and just read through the comments on some of these videos, there are some really, really witty people. It's really funny stuff.
And most of the time we appreciate it. If it's something like against our family or something like actually hateful, then we'll just delete it. But other than that, we don't mind a funny comment. There's definitely people that'll hop on here and tell us what idiots we are, even though...
To play pickleball in general, yeah.
Yeah, like tennis guys will get on here. Here, I have one right here. He said, so I'm playing, I'm doing a dink drill with my wife, and we're at different levels. I mean, basically stating facts. We're at different levels, so I'm trying to figure out drills that will help us to be able to both improve instead of just her or just me. And so this one is, I just labeled the front of it 3-5 versus 4-5 drill because I want to make sure they understand hey, this is a good way to drill with someone that's not your level, so you don't always have to tell them no or whatever. And I explained the drill to where I'm using the full kitchen and she's using half, and we're dinks only. Like, simple drill, right? And so, first guy says, the very top comment, nice he only hits right to her every time. It's like, bro, I can only hit to that side.
Yeah,
that's the point of the drill. You know? And then someone else wrote, so cute, you think there's a measurable rating in pickleball like there is in tennis.
And there is. They're just so stupid.
There actually is.
Oh,
but a lot of people, I think it's cool, like a lot of our followers and people that care about pickle, they hop back. Like that one has 1, 2, 3, 4 different people responding to that person, putting them in their place. One of them said, cute hating on people's hobbies to make you feel superior. Next one says, say you're insecure without saying you're insecure.
Yes.
The other one says, cute that you can't play either sport. This one says, so cute you comment when you know nothing. So it's cool that we have people.
That's the worst. That's the comments that I just have to delete. I don't want the people to be humiliated. It's literally so bad. It's like when you understand nothing. Someone commented on that peekaboo video and said, I would have just taken that ball out of the air, not dodged it. The point would have ended a lot sooner.
Like, wow, I wish we were all you, guy.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
If only we were all that good.
If only you understood that the point would then be over as soon as you made contact.
There's something called the double bounce rule, buddy.
Yeah. Anyways, there's some funny stuff out there.
But yeah, I do appreciate all the followers, all the support. We're growing like crazy on the podcast and on Instagram and on other social media. Appreciate the support. At the same time, we think and we hope that we're providing something of value for everybody. That's the reason that we do this. We'd like to get a laugh every once in a while too on some of our stuff, but the main reason that we do it, it genuinely makes us feel good. Like, it makes me feel good to know when somebody comes up and says, like, oh, why don't you tell the story of the lady that came up to you yesterday? So we're just sitting and watching the pros play, and someone came up to Austin.
Yeah, prior to that, I got real confident because the hype guys at the pickleball tournament said, we need 2 volunteers that think that they know the most pros names. And so I went up there and I was like, I got this. Like, I of course know the most pros names. And I went up against this lady who was, I'm sure she was incredible, but I never got to see because I did so bad. I just got up there and blanked. Yeah, so I got up there and I was like, I named all the pros that were currently on the court behind me, and she didn't for some reason. And then I was like, J.W. Johnson, and one of the hype guys like, she just said his name. I'm like, oh, frick. Couldn't think of one pro.
See, I wasn't there. I wish I was there.
It was, I know. If Spencer did it, he would have just pwned through it, you know? I'm not good in those situations. Like, any trivia or anything like that, horrible.
I think it's great.
But it was funny because after my wife was like, that would have been such good content. Why did you suck so bad? I was like, oh, you're a savage. And she's like, well, why don't you think in subjects? Like, think MLP. Think people you've had on your podcast, maybe.
Yeah. He didn't even name people that were on our podcast.
I didn't name one person that was on our podcast. But at least no one will feel left out, you know?
Yeah.
At least they'll all feel left out together. Anyways, so after I did that, this lady came down and was like, hey, I really appreciate your guys' page. It's really helped me with all of these tips. She's like, you're just a great guy, Tyler. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
She thought my name was Tyler for some reason. She's like, you're Pickleball Playbook and Picklehead, right? And I was like, yeah. And I just went along with it. And I was like, I really, really appreciate it. And then she was like, can I get a photo? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I was just shocked, honestly.
Yeah.
People want a photo with me, huh? But
no, it's cool.
She was awesome. So it's that kind of feedback is awesome, even if you don't know our names. Just to come up and say something that was really, really cool. And it's okay, the stuff that we are providing is providing value. So that's a cool thing.
Yeah, and the reason I thought of that is a lot of the comments that we get on social media and on the podcast is, hey, thank you for showing this. I'm drilling this tonight. Or, hey, thank you. You've helped me get to a better level because of these mental tips. Where we did the 10 mental tips podcast.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, that one was super fun. So we're happy to be able to help. We hope we're providing value to everyone that's listening. Please share this with everyone you know. Again, we're growing like crazy right now, and that's all thanks to everyone that's listening and watching.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody that came up to us and got hats. We got rid of 6.
Yeah.
6 hats we gave away. So for people that followed us and stuff, so that was cool.
Yeah. Hats are available now. We are really close to start shipping those out. A lot of people have asked for them. If you do want one, again, message us on probably Instagram is the best way to. Any of our social media pages. I mean, even if you want to message us on YouTube, if that's easier for you, or on Apple or Spotify or whatever, we'll make sure and get those out to you here soon.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you.
Later.